Arman Tsarukyan is making power moves, literally trying to buy Ilia Topuria's house while planning a drop to featherweight. Paddy Pimblett finally speaks out after that brutal loss. Conor's dropping sparring partners in new footage. And wait till you hear what Dan Hooker had to say about Paddy. Let's get into it. So Arman Tsarukyan just dropped a bomb. The #1 lightweight contender is talking about moving down to 145 pounds. Yeah, you heard that right. This man just fought for the lightweight title and now he's eyeing featherweight. Now, this isn't some random call-out. Arman's looking at that stacked featherweight division and thinking he can make waves. But here's the thing, cutting down from 155 to 145, that's no joke. We're talking about a serious weight cut for someone who's already a killer at lightweight. And speaking of Arman, he absolutely went off on Paddy Pimblett. Like, he did not hold back. After Paddy's loss to Renato Moicano, Arman basically said what a lot of people were thinking. He called out Paddy's height, questioned his skill level, and made it clear he never bought into the Paddy train. The crazy part, Arman's been saying this for a while. He's never been shy about speaking his mind, and with Paddy coming off that submission loss, Arman saw his moment and took it. No mercy. Now, Alexander Volkanovski caught wind of Arman's plan to drop to 145, and you know Volk had something to say. The former featherweight king gave his take on whether Arman could actually make the cut and compete at that weight. Volk's been there, done that at featherweight. He knows what it takes. And his reaction, let's just say he's intrigued but skeptical. Volk pointed out the challenges of that weight cut and what it takes to hang with the elite at 145. He's not dismissing Arman, but he's definitely raising some valid questions about whether this move makes sense. But before any featherweight dreams, Arman's got business to handle. He's set to face Giorgio Poulos at RAF 06. This is a big opportunity for Arman to stay active and keep his name hot, while the lightweight title picture sorts itself out. Poulos is no pushover either. This should be a solid test, and Arman needs to make a statement if he wants to keep his options open for either a title shot rematch or that featherweight move. Here's where it gets wild. Arman Tsarukyan literally offered to buy Ilia Topuria's $3.5 million house. I'm not making this up. This is the kind of petty, hilarious trash talk we live for. Ilia's been living large with that beautiful property, and Arman basically slid into the conversation like, hey, I'll take that off your hand. Is this a legitimate offer? Who knows? But it's the kind of psychological warfare that gets people talking. Arman's planting seeds, making Ilia think about him, and stirring the pot for a potential future fight. Sean O'Malley had people panicking recently with some retirement talk, but he came out to clarify what he actually meant. Sean explained that he's not hanging up the gloves anytime soon, he was just being real about how much longer he sees himself fighting. The former bantamweight champ made it clear he's still got goals, still wants big fights, but he's also thinking long-term about his health and legacy. New footage dropped of Conor McGregor in the gym, and he's dropping sparring partners, like putting people down. Now, we always have to take training footage with a grain of salt, but Conor looks sharp, looks explosive, and looks ready to make noise whenever he decides to come back. The question isn't if Conor can still fight, it's when and against who. But based on this footage, the notorious one still has hands. Dan Hooker did not hold back on Paddy Pimblett after that loss. Hooker basically said Paddy got exposed, that the hype was always overblown, and that real lightweights would do the same thing Moicano did. This is coming from a guy who's been in the trenches at lightweight for years. Hooker's faced killers, and he's not impressed with what Paddy's shown. Harsh? Maybe. But Hooker's keeping it real, from someone who's been there at the highest level. And finally, Paddy Pimblett himself finally broke his silence after the loss. After days of everyone else talking about him, Paddy addressed what happened, how he's feeling, and what's next for him. To his credit, Paddy took the loss on the chin. He acknowledged Moicano was the better man that night, talked about what went wrong, and made it clear he's not going anywhere. The question now is, how does Paddy bounce back? Does he take an easier fight to rebuild? Does he address the criticism? We'll see. And that's the roundup. Drop a comment with your thoughts. Can Arman really make 145? Is Paddy done as a contender? Let me know.